We are learning more information tonight about Bryan Kohberger, the suspect in the murder of those 4 University of Idaho students, that may finally provide a connection to victims Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan. People magazine reports that in the weeks before the November murders, Kohberger ate at the restaurant where 2 of the victims, Madison and Xana, worked. Quote, according to a former employee at the Mad Greek restaurant in Moscow, Idaho, Bryan Kohberger came in at least twice to grab vegan pizza. 2 of the victims, Madison and Xana Kernodle, were servers at the restaurant. It's unclear if either woman ever waited on Kohberger or if they even interacted. People also reports that an Instagram account belonging to Kohberger followed both Madison and Xana and the 3rd female victim, Kaylee Gonsalves. And according to a source in late October, an account that authorities believe belonged to Bryan Kohberger sent a greeting to one of the female victims. When he didn't get a reply, he sent several more messages to her. He slid into one of the girls' DMs several times, but she didn't respond. The source tells People basically it was just him saying, hey, how are you? But he did it again and again. The report in People states Kohberger was incredibly persistent in sending those messages, even though the victim never responded. Now, investigators already have suggested that Kohberger was stalking his victims months before the murders. Cell phone records laid out in the probable cause affidavit show he was near the house where the murders took place up to a dozen times in the months leading up to the killings. Even the victims' families were still trying to figure out if their paths had crossed. Shannon Gray is the attorney for the Gonsalves family.
I don't know of anybody that did know him. All of those girls were social. They were involved in the college. They were working hard, waitressing and doing different things. So the idea that he may have ran across their paths, I don't think is uncommon.
Also this week, the search warrant for Kohberger's Pullman, Washington apartment, just miles from where the students were killed, was unsealed, showing that investigators collected a pillow with reddish-brown spot-stained mattress covers, several possible hair strands, a black glove. There's also a new gag order that's even stricter. Now, you saw that piece of interview there with one of the family's attorneys. Even they won't be able to speak now publicly anymore. But so what does this new information tell us? Former classmates have said Kohberger was bullied in high school for being overweight. One former classmate telling the Daily Mail, quote, the whole clique of popular girls made fun of him in school. They were the cheerleaders and the ones that every kid had crushes on. Let's ask Dr. Carole Lieberman, a forensic psychiatrist and expert witness who's been following this case closely, if this brings us any closer to the possible motive. Thanks very much for joining us, Doctor. What do you make of it?
Thank you. Well, I have been saying since the very beginning that he fits that before he was arrested, someone in particular was arrested, that the killer was an incel. And everything we have come to learn about Bryan Kohberger since then fits that pattern. So an incel is a young man who has been rejected by women in his whole history of trying to get women to have sex with him, to go out with him. And we have, yes, that article, for example, talks about this one girl, Kim, who he left letters for, love notes and so on, who he kept pestering, and he wouldn't take no, and she kept rejecting him, and all the popular girls were rejecting him and throwing things at him, bullying him, and so on. And so this is indicative, I mean, there are many other things that relate to this that are indicative of his having had this pattern throughout his life of being rejected by women, and not just rejected, like a lot of people get rejected, but incels build up the rage. And they have groups online and so on where they egg each other on. And so it's really, we see the beginnings of it in middle school. That's when he first left these love notes. And now we take it, all the way to his leaving DMs and trying to follow these victims.
So I was going to ask you about that. So you're saying that you think that the fact that they didn't respond, that she didn't respond to his DMs, triggers, in effect, this response from him, which is this fury and rage as the guy who's been rejected all his life, and then he plots out these murders?
Right. And to be fair, we don't know whether the person he sent the DMs to actually saw his DMs, but he never got a response. So whether she saw them or not, it was the same rejection to him.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.